G'day viewers, this is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel. Here's my latest update on the construction of my Iconoscope TV camera tube project. First of all, I've done some work on the input wires to my Iconoscope tube, which carry the high voltages. I've added some capacitors on some of the high voltage leads, so that way no AC noise can go to the tube. I've twisted the heater leads so minimal noise goes to the heaters of the tube. These were suggestions by my friend Richard Deal and a guy who specialises in valve electronics, who commented on my YouTube videos. So yep, thank you guys. Now what I'm doing right now is testing out the circuits that I've got rigged up to make sure they all work. I know the power supplies all work, the power sections all working perfectly well. The other day I've tested the time-based circuitry for the horizontal and vertical deflection, and yeah, they're working fine with the signals coming from my sync pulse generator. Yet the camera is on as I speak because I want to show you that everything's all working good. Right now I'm testing out the video board to see if it's outputting video, and sure enough it is. You've got that distinct video signal, and when I touch the target lead you'll see noise come through, so that goes to show that the video is working, so I'm very pleased about that. I'll very shortly show you the horizontal and vertical outputs, showing they work. For the horizontal and vertical pulses, I decided to externally supply the horizontal and vertical pulses from my sync pulse generator, because that works better in squaring up a better time base than using the circuit's input horizontal sync generator and having to draw AC voltage from the heater transformer to supply the vertical sync, which is a bit of a problem because it's kind of like random fields. For those who know about random fields in video will know what I mean by that. But anyway, yeah. Plus, also, also in hooking up the heater voltages to the time-based circuit will be another problem, because of the fact I have to make a return path to 0 volts, and I thought, okay, stick the other end of the transformer onto 0 volt, onto ground, and the trouble with that is that puts noise through the ground, because I heard a hum when I did that I heard a hum. So I'm assuming that I'm getting AC noise through the ground, although correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. But yeah, I decided against doing that, and so yeah, instead supply the vertical sync pulse and horizontal sync pulse from my sync pulse generator. Anyway, so yeah, the camera's nearly done. The high voltage power works. I've tested that long ago, and it all works. I'm getting the right voltages pretty much going to the tube, and I can hear a bit of a squeal inside the yoke, so the yoke appears to be working. Okay, I just got interrupted. Yeah, I had to do something for somebody. But yeah, I'm back again, and yeah, I've switched the camera off and I've connected some output leads from the horizontal and vertical deflection outputs, and I can show you that they are both working. For starters, here's the vertical output, sourced from the sync pulse generator, of course. As you can see, well, we're getting a sawtooth wave. It's a bit curved though, which, yeah, there may be some problem in the circuit with filtering maybe, or with the capacitors or something. Like it should be more straighter, I suppose, but all the same, it's nearly there, and it should provide a near decent vertical scan, although there'll probably be a bit of stretching and on one end, from the top or the bottom of the picture, and compression at the top or bottom of the picture, something like that. When this was way off, I was getting a rather stretched and compressed picture. I think it was stretched at the top, compressed at the bottom. But then I fixed the problem, which happened to be a faulty transistor. Anyhow, so either ways, we're getting a vertical output, which is good, and the horizontal, I've got to do a bit of adjustments on the crow, so just give me one moment. So, okay, so that's our horizontal output, and that's working perfectly well, like it should. So there you have it. So both the horizontal and vertical drives are working in this camera. So yeah, both boards are still working quite good, and I'm very pleased about that. So that's taken care of the main guts of the camera. Now, so next thing I'll be doing is, once I get an anode cap to stick over the tube's target connection, I'll connect it as close as possible to this preamp. Yes, this preamp does work quite well, as you've seen in previous videos. Just the trouble is, though, I'm getting when I put leads on the input, I get noise. I get, from what Richard told me, it's kind of like a 50 Hertz hum from I guess the AC power, I suppose. Somehow it's picking up the hum, and hence I'm getting total noise on the preamp. So yeah, the best thing to do is put some shielding around the tube, shielding around the preamp, and have the preamp pretty much straight on the anode connector and right up at the tube, and then sort of have the output leads as close as possible to the input of the video circuit where the rest of the amplification occurs. So that's the plan. So this preamp, I don't know if I'll be using this metal enclosure to shield it now that there's a change of plans and where I'm going to position it. So, but yeah, this preamp will be positioned somewhere around here, which is where the target output will be on the tube. So somewhere around here I'll position it and make sure it's well supported, not just hanging off the cap hanging off the target cap of the tube. We don't want any stresses on it at all. Otherwise it may cause stress fracture. Anyway, that's the plan with the preamp. So yeah, we're nearly there. There's not too much more to go, and this camera will be ready for testing. Of course, I've got to cover the enclosure so no outside light gets onto the tube, apart from the light getting focused, apart from the scenery getting focused onto the tube's mosaic plate. So yep, I've got to use a suitable casing around this enclosure. Also around the tube I've got to put some kind of shielding to suppress some noise so it doesn't pick up spurious noises. And it's been suggested mu metal will be the go for it. Perhaps maybe foiling around the tube might be alright using foil. Also the other connections on the tube itself on the bulb apparently connect to the anode ring, which is connected to ground. I'm a bit uncertain whether I should connect that to ground or not, because I'm looking at Yoshio's video on his construction of his Iconoscope tube, his more sophisticated version of what I'm doing. And it did not appear he had any connections on those connectors that connect to the anode ring, so I'm not sure about that. I'm going to have to query on that before I take action of whether to connect it to ground or not. But anyhow, I'll come to that when I cross it. But yeah, in the meantime, just got to get this all put together and got to work out where I'm going to stick these adjustment controls. We have to change that video output lead for a better one. I'm going to try and use noise shielded cable for the video coming from the target of the tube, the target signal from the preamp to the main video amp, and of course, yeah, use a shielded cable coming from the output of the video circuit straight out to composite video. So yeah, that's the plan with that. Yeah, don't think there's much more to talk about, but I've made quite enormous progress with this camera, and I can foresee having this camera up and ready for testing hopefully within the next couple of weeks to a month, depending on how busy I am and whether I hit any more stumbling blocks or not. But yeah, the testing stage is not too far away, so stay tuned for the next video which I should have it pretty well up and constructed. Finally, it just occurred to me that I forgot to mention this. With the Iconoscope tube itself, that tube expert on YouTube who gave me some tips on my project, he strongly suggested before using the tube that I apply 3 volts to the tube heaters for about 2 hours, and then up the voltage to about 5 volts for an extra hour, and just to sort of warm the tube in to initiate the tube, so it's pretty well workable again. You told me you do that with valves that are more than 40 years old, and the tube is a big valve pretty much, so that's what I need to do, so that way the tube can be revived and hopefully function. So that's also what I've got to do as well, so I'll be doing that once I finish with the other construction side of this, with the construction side of this camera, and getting these circuits all you know, rigged up and everything. Anyway, stay tuned for the next video. This is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel, signing out.